Greetings and good tidings, Lafayette Lions. It's Miss Brady here, and today we are going to be reviewing how to add fractions with like and unlike denominators. We're going to start with the problem 7/10 plus 7/10. The first step whenever I'm adding or subtracting a fraction is to check out those denominators. When I look at these denominators, I see that they are the same. This means that I am ready to add. When adding or subtracting fractions, we will never, ever add or subtract the denominators. They are going to stay the same. So my denominator for my sum will be 10. I'm going to add the numerators, 7 plus 7, which equals 14. Uh-oh. When I look at this sum, I can see that I have created an improper fraction because my numerator is greater than the denominator. In order to convert an improper fraction into a mixed number, I am going to need to draw some models. When I have a denominator of 10, I like to make rectangles. So this rectangle is going to have 10 pieces since that is my denominator. I'm going to have to draw at least one more rectangle since I know that it's going to be a little bit more than one piece. I automatically know that I can color in 10 since my numerator is 14. When I get to the second rectangle, I'm going to color in 11, 12, 13, 14. This model right here represents one whole, and this one represents 4/10. So my sum so far, if I put it into a mixed number, is 1 and 4/10. I'm not sure if 4/10 is in simplest form, so I'm going to go ahead and do my fabulous factor F's so that I can make sure. Put 4 on top of one F since that is my numerator, and 10 on top of another F since that is my denominator. My next step is to write 1 in each of the F's because I automatically know that 1 will be a factor. I'm going to complete my 4F now. 1 times 4 equals 4. If I count by 2, 2, 4, it takes 2 2's to make a 4. Since these two numbers are the same, the 2 and the 2, I'm all done listing factors for 4. Now I'm going to move into my 10. 1 times 10 equals 10. If I count by 2's, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, it takes 5 2's in order to make 10. If I count by 3's, 3, 6, 9, 12, that doesn't work. 4's, 4, 8, 12, that doesn't work. I already have a 5 at the bottom of my F, so I am all done. Next, I'm going to identify my common factors. When I look in my F's, I see that I have 1 that's the same and 2 that's the same. So my common factors are 1 and 2. My greatest common factor, which is the biggest number that's the same, is 2. Since my greatest common factor is greater than 1, that means that I do need to simplify. I am going to look at the fraction 4/10, and I'm going to have to divide it by my greatest common factor in order to simplify. I can use my F chart to help me with this. 4 divided by 2 equals 2, and 10 divided by 2 equals 5. So my final answer for this problem would be 1 and 2/5, because 1 and 2/5 is equivalent to 1 and 4/10, which is equivalent to 14/10. Whew, there's a lot of work that went into that problem. Now we're going to try to add an unlike denominator problem. So this time I'm going to look at the problem 1/4 plus 3/6. When I look at these denominators, I see that they are different. That means that I am going to have to use my big M chart in order to find some multiples. I'll go ahead and draw big M, and I'm going to put my denominators on each side. So 4 goes on one side and 6 goes on the other side. Next, I'm going to list some multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, and if I need to add more to this side, I can. I'm going to list some multiples of 6 to see if I can find a match. 6, 12, all right, I found my match. My least common multiple is 12, which means that my least common denominator will also be 12. My next step is to multiply each of my fractions in order to make an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 12. So I'm going to come over to my 4 side, and I see that it took 1, 2, 3 4s in order to make 12. I'll multiply my numerators. 1 times 3, which equals 3. 3/12 is equivalent to 1/4. I'll do the same thing with my 6s. It took 1, 2 6s in order to make 12, so I'm going to put a 2 in the domino here. 3 times 2 equals 6. Now that I have common denominators, I am ready to add. I'm going to rewrite my problem just so that my numerators are lined up and it's a little bit easier for me to see what I need to do. Again, I do not add my denominators because that would change the value of the sum. So my denominator will be 12 in the sum. 3 plus 6 equals 9. Now my numerator is not 1, and my numerator and denominator are not next door neighbors. So I'm going to again do my fabulous factor chart just to make sure that this sum is in simplest form. So I'm going to draw 2 big F's again. And this time I'm going to put 9 on top of one of those F's and 12 on top of the other. I know that I can multiply any number by 1 to make that number, so 1 will go in each of those as a factor. 1 times 9 equals 9. I cannot multiply 2 and make 9 because 2 is an even number, and we can't multiply an even number by another whole number to create an odd number. So let's look at 3. 3, 6, 9. It took 3 3s in order to make 9. Since I have 3s here, we're all done. 1 times 12 equals 12. Let's count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. It takes 6 2s in order to make 12. I can count by 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12. It took 4 3s. The next number that I would try to count by is 4, but I already have that in my F chart, so I am all done listing my factors for 12. My common factors for 9 and 12 are 1 and 3, which means that my greatest common factor would be 3. Since my greatest common factor is greater than 1, that means that I am going to have to divide in order to get my answer in simplest form. So I am going to divide 9/12 by my greatest common factor, which is 3. I can use those F charts to help me. 9 divided by 3 equals 3, and 12 divided by 3 equals 4. So for this problem, my final answer in simplest form is 3/4. All right, friends, I hope you worked these problems out with me in your notebook. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to your teacher. I hope that everybody has a fabulous day.